You know who my next guest is? Mackenzie Dern, who's got a big fight coming up here at UFC Fight Night on September 19th. She's going to be taking on Randa Markos. Mackenzie, how are you?
I'm good, James. How are you?
I'm doing great. It's good to talk to you again. I'm sure you're excited to get a nice turnaround from the last fight. You coming off that really impressive win, and now you're getting to fight Randa Markos coming up here in September. Was this the right amount of time off for you?
Yeah. I wanted to fight a little bit sooner, just because my fight with Hannah I wanted to be sooner, but because of everything that happened, the corona and all these things, it was like just kind of push and push. And then when I finished Hannah, like the fight with Hannah, I was like, oh, let me get a fight, I'm good. And then Mick offered the fight like 2 weeks later with Randa. I thought like, oh, okay, no, 2 weeks is like too soon, I thought like maybe a month, But then it ended up working out perfect, like I have way more time to change. There's been like a couple changes in my camp, so kind of just to organize everything and get everything so I'm feeling better than before. And I in the end it's good, I'm just a little anxious with everything, so it's like kind of God saying like, hey, slow down,
Yeah, no, that's good though. Some fighters would rush into a situation like that. Good on you for, assessing that and saying, hey, I need a little bit more time. And we'll talk about some of those changes in a second, because I did watch your interview with my buddy John Coe a couple weeks ago. But let's talk about that win over Hannah Cyphers. I wanted to know how satisfying that win was, just with the fact that you came off your first career loss and it was during COVID. That win must have been a little bit more special for you, was it?
Yeah, for sure. I think especially because it was like the first leg lock in the women's, like,
that's right, a little bit of history.
UFC, yeah. So I didn't plan on it, like leg locks are something that like I like to do a lot in jiu-jitsu. So I'm happy like that ended up being, and actually I think maybe like 3 weeks later, maybe Ariane in Brazil, or on the Fight Island, the Brazilian, she got a leg lock too, so I was like 3 weeks earlier, maybe if not, she would have been like the first, so it was really cool to get that. And it kind of like, I know lots of girls get submissions and stuff in MMA, but it felt good to like, hey, but I'm still like the jiu-jitsu girl in MMA, you know what I mean? Like the real jiu-jitsu girl. So what's going, I'm really happy with kind of being back and just showing like, lots of fans saying, oh, if she loses this one, then yeah, she's never coming back after the pregnancy, and just, all the talk. So I was really happy to be like back on the win column, and, now I'm like number 15 on the rank. So things are kind of flowing, so I'm excited.
Well, I was going to ask you about that, because Randa isn't ranked right now, but she is someone that's obviously very well known. She's been in the UFC for a very long time. You must have been pretty excited to get her as an opponent, because I believe she's the most experienced opponent you fought in terms of MMA fights.
For sure, definitely. She's so experienced. Like, it's crazy, like she just fought everyone, she's been in it for a long time. She has a lot of like heart, a lot of experience. It's like she's a tough fighter, even though she's not ranked. But man, she's definitely, I think, gonna show me like what I need to get better at and what I'm doing good at, so hopefully I get the win, that's the goal. But I'm excited to fight her, I think she's such a tough girl, I'm a fan of her, so I'm excited.
What about the style matchup? I mean, you're known for your jiu-jitsu, and I know Randa has been submitted before, but Randa's also the only fighter to submit Angela Hill in the UFC. Like, she's got this kind of interesting career in the UFC where she hasn't won 2 in a row, she hasn't lost 2 in a row. How do you feel like you match up against her here?
Yeah, I'm talking like with my coaches. I don't know, kind of like, I mean, obviously I want to like take it to the ground. I don't think that there's like a huge comparison on the ground, but just seeing kind of like her striking and seeing her ground, like she's smart on the ground, she knows what she's doing, I keep thinking like, man, I wonder what her strategy will be for this fight, so I'm not really sure how the matchup will be. I think definitely will be interesting. People will want to watch and see like what's gonna happen, because I think it can go like, anyway, she kind of looks like she counters a lot, so we'll see how like the striking will be with that, and if it will be easy for me to get her to the ground, and if she'll want to try to take me down, so we'll see.
I know you don't really worry about the logistics of the fight. You leave that up to your manager, but I don't know if you were aware of this. Randa just got her visa approved, I think, last week, because she's coming from Canada, obviously, and with COVID and the travel restrictions and all that, it's been a little bit difficult. Did you know that at all, or is that something you just sort of let your manager handle?
No, I didn't know. I didn't know that at all. Like, I was actually talking to him, like, man, because we were originally on like the Bohashia and Israel card, and I said like, oh man, that's gonna be an awesome card to be on, like there's such, and I wanted to see it like live, you know what I mean? So when it got moved the next week to Fight Island, I said, hey, like, are they gonna move ours too? Even though I love like fighting in Vegas, obviously like no jet lag and all that stuff, it's good to fight in Vegas. But he said, oh no, both of you. I think she lives in Michigan or
She's on the border. She's like she lives in Windsor, and it's right next to Michigan. So she's in Canada, but she does a lot of her training in the States in Michigan, which is interesting. See, I'm Canadian, so I know all these things, right? So.
Yeah. So I mean, for me, I was like, oh, okay, we both live in the United States. That's why it's easier for us to be, in Vegas, So I'm glad I wasn't, I didn't know about any of that, So I'm glad everything went good and that the fight's gonna happen. I know she's always up for everything, so. I'm glad I went through.
Now, you talked about some of the changes in your camp. I know that you're now working with Jason Parillo. For those who don't know, how did that all come together, working with one of the best striking coaches in MMA?
Yeah, I had like a falling out with my ex Muay Thai coach at that used to train at Black House. Like, Black House is great, but with my ex stand-up coach, he got in a fight with my husband, and so we had to leave, we're like, okay, we're getting out of here. It doesn't work. And I had heard, obviously, of Coach Parillo for a long time, and I'm good friends with Pat from Ruka. He knows my father from a long time. Like, they trained together. So I sent Pat a message, hey, I know Jason, he's a great coach. I was, like, looking for, stand-up. I have 4 weeks left of my camp, he's like, okay. He connected us, and I did kind of, like, 4 days training with him, like, kind of to see if he wants to train me, of course, and if I liked him, and man, just like connected right away, and he's helping me so much. It's like, I think we're training 2 weeks so far, and I already feel like so much better in so many things that like I didn't know I was doing wrong, honestly, So
interesting. Okay.
Yeah, it's really cool. And I mean, you're just constantly evolving, and so it's great to have like kind of just a new fresh air and a new like way to think and a new way to train and all these things. So I'm excited. I'm really excited to show like kind of what I'm becoming.
Yes. No, I understand for sure. So by the sounds of it, because you said you haven't been working with them long, this split happened sort of mid-camp, you're saying, with you leaving your old coach.
Yeah, this was like 2 weeks ago.
Oh, sorry to hear that. I mean, that's because obviously you knew, I know the fight, you had a lot of notice, so that's too bad that this happened like mid-camp, but glad to see you found someone else. I'm sure that was a bit of a stressor, not knowing who you'd get to work with leading into this fight, right?
Yeah, I mean, it was like, honestly, it was almost good. Like, I kind of feel bad, like that my husband is the one that like went through all this, like my husband's not a fighter. He's a professional surfer. So he's like good vibes and, hey,
right,
what's up? And
non-confrontational,
like,
yeah.
Yeah, and then it's like all of a sudden he's like in a fist fight with my coach. And I'm like, what the heck is going on? So I kind of felt like bad that my husband's like the one that had to like go through this, because I think this never happened. Maybe we would have been pushing like, okay, let's finish out more 4 weeks. And then, if I would have won, like, okay, let's like just handle it, like kind of the stress and everything that you're kind of going through a camp that, you don't really like show, you don't show to people like all the kind of little things that you're not agreeing with or that you don't like or and everything like that. So like this whole thing is honestly like a blessing in disguise, I'm like, hey baby, like he's always protecting our family, standing up for us, and it was way better, even though it was like in the middle of the camp, was better now than later, so
yeah, say really close to fight time or something. At least you got a couple of weeks in where you can kind of do the switch, so that's really good. So on that note, what about training partners? Who are you getting to work with in the gym?
Yeah, I was actually like still working with Tabitha Riki. She's fighting the LFA today.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Okay.
I'm hoping that she does good. We're cheering for her. And yeah, just like I'm training a little bit with Cheeto Vera.
Cheeto Vera. That must have been. Yeah. So how was that though? Because I know you used to train with Sean O'Malley. So were you a little conflicted there a little bit?
No, I mean, we're just new things. Like I like Sugar. He's a cool guy. He's always nice to me. He's helped me so much when I was in Arizona. But I mean, I know he doesn't care. And man, I like Cheeto. He's
how can you not like Cheeto? There's no one like Cheeto Vera, right? He's such a cool guy, huh?
Yeah. So I know like how Sugar is in like the fight game. You know what I mean? And I guess I'm glad I'm not a guy, so I'm not involved in the drama.
Right.
And
yes, exactly. Yeah.
For me, I'm just hey, they're all nice to me, so I like them both. And man, Cheeto's helping me so much too. Like he moves around with me and all these things, so I'm really liking it.
How about the weight cut? How's that going ahead of this fight?
So good. I'm 6 pounds above, so
nice.
I have
awesome. Good to hear.
What we're like I don't know, 17, 16 days, maybe like 2 weeks, you know, so 6 pounds, 2 weeks. I'm so happy, you know, I'm just still trying to get that strength. I'm trying to get that strength more and more. And yeah, I'm just trying to lift the weights and kind of go back to like my world championship jiu-jitsu days, you know, that I was like strong, you know, for my weight class, like fighting the absolute divisions, but still fast and agile and all these things. So it's a process, you know, still these things are kind of closed, but the Ruka gym is cool too. And I'm able to do my workouts and stuff like that. So I'm feeling stronger for sure.
Excellent. Who's going to be in your corner for this fight? I imagine Jason Parillo will be one of them. Who else will be in there with you?
Yeah, Bubba Jenkins, my wrestling coach. He's out here. He's staying 4 weeks out here in California with me. So kind of really happy that he's like, I mean, not happy, but he's taking away like time from his family in Vegas. You know, he lives in Vegas to stay like full time here these 4 weeks with me. So I'm really thankful for that. And of course my dad, you know, so I'm really happy. My dad's, he gets here Monday. He gets here Monday and he'll stay here all the way until fight week. So, and then we go out to Vegas. So I'm excited. And it's really cool because this time, my last fight in Vegas, like my husband didn't go, Wesley didn't go, Moa didn't go, and this time we're actually going to take Moa and Wesley and the dogs, so we're excited.
The dogs are coming to it's a family affair, right? So there you go. Awesome. That's great. How do you see the fight playing out on the 19th? I mentioned Randa has been submitted before, but it's been a while. I want to say Courtney Casey was the last person to submit her in the UFC. I think that she's the only one to do it. How do you see the fight playing out?
Man, I want to get like a knockout, you know what I mean?
Okay,
really
you want to go for something different, yeah.
Yeah, but I think it's going to be a submission, you know? Moa, para. Sorry.
Oh, don't worry about it. It's
My
all good.
daughter doing messing stuff.
I know what that's all about. Don't worry. It's all good.
Yeah, like fighter but mom at the same time, you know?
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah, so I think it'll be like a submission, you know? I think just, yeah, it's just like, I think she has so much experience, you know, that I'd like to get a knockout. And at least from all the fights I've seen her, like Alexa Grasso, so many tough girls, you know, and she's just like taking the punches and giving them back and everything like that. I think we'll end up going to the ground sooner or later. And I think she'll probably defend like maybe the first, I don't know, the armbar, but then I'll probably like throw a triangle, and then she'll probably maybe defend the triangle, and then maybe, I don't know, omoplata, crucifix, something, you know, we'll see. So I think we'll just kind of a lot to throw at her, you know, on the ground. So
absolutely. Could it be like the Amanda Cooper fight where you knock her down and then you go for the submission? Is that how you kind of see it playing out?
Maybe that'd be good.
Because you said knockout, that was the first thing I thought of. Because I remember when you cracked Amanda in Brazil, you ended up going and submitting her after.
After that, I've been thinking like, man, one day I'm gonna get a knockout. One day, I think so.
Okay, we'll see. We'll be keeping tabs on this one. Do you want to get another fight in this year? If you come out unscathed, would you want to get one more in, or would you like to take some time off and then reassess for next year?
Yeah, for sure. I like to be like December, maybe on the Ludino with Usman card. You know, that'd be great. If I win and I don't get like uninjured and everything, that would be awesome. I'd really like to try to get like 3 fights in this year.
Oh, really? 3 more? Oh, including the other ones. Okay, I see what you mean. Yeah, that makes sense.
Like, 3
I was like, that would be kind of crazy if you could pull it off. And I'm sure you'd want sort of, I think a win here would get you a ranked opponent, someone pretty notable, I would think. Because Randa, like I said, she's not ranked, but she's someone that's very well known in the division.
Yeah, for sure. And like now that I'm number 15, I think like probably that they're just going to give me like in the ranks too, you know, I think probably in the future. So, she's so like, so yeah, definitely. And I mean, even like Hannah, when I fought her, she's fought like 2 more times already since our fight, you know? So, I think it's possible, you know, if the UFC like, you know, needs needs a person, you know, to fight and it's a good matchup and stuff, we like it, then definitely I would like to do it.
Mackenzie, thanks so much for the time. I know you're doing double duty here, being a mom and doing the interview. I really appreciate it. Anyone you want to thank, any sponsors, any social media you want to plug, the floor is yours.
Yeah, no, thank you all the fans, of course, that believe in me, everyone who's excited to watch this fight. I think there's a lot of exciting things that are happening, you know. Thanks my coaches, my sponsors. Thank you, everyone. So thank you, James, for having me. And it's always fun talking to you.